Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for being here. Hopefully, we're all safe tonight, and we will have a night where hopefully the weather will not have us without lights. I understand that the generator may come on, but again, hopefully everything will be fine and we'll all be safe. I'm going to go and call our meeting to order. Again, thank you all for being here. At this time, I'm going to ask Mr. Hinkle to give us an invocation, which will be followed by our Pledge of Allegiance. I ask that when we recite our pledge, that everyone please stand. But at this time, I'll turn it over to Mr. Hinkle.
Will you bow our heads, please? Oh, Lord, we come before you seeking your guidance and wisdom. May our conversations be filled with truth, grace, and a spirit of unity. We ask for your blessings upon our endeavors at this evening's meeting. In Christ's name we pray.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for your participation. At this time, Council, you have your agendas in front of you and your packets. I'll ask if there are any council members with any amendments to tonight's agenda.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to amend the agenda and add a closed session under General Statute 143.318.11A6 to discuss personnel performance.
Okay. Any other request? Okay. Staff?
Yes, sir. Would also during closed session like to add 143-318.11A5 acquisition of property discussion.
Okay. Staff, you've heard from Councilman Jarosinski and staff to add a closed session with two items, one personnel and one acquisition of property. Is there a motion to amend the agenda with those items and approve the remaining?
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor, that we agenda the agenda.
Okay, motion's made to amend the agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
Any other question or comment? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
In opposition? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is our consent. These are items that will be approved with one motion unless a council member asks to have it removed for further discussion. We've got one set of minutes. We've got an annexation request for Stillwater. We also have a public hearing for June 12th to discuss the proposed budget, which I believe is already made public. We also have a set of schedule of fees update, also a water sewer service policy update, and we've got the approval of our audit contract. We also have an ordinance update as well on capital project fund. We've got the establishment of the sewer collection and rehabilitation project, as well as the ordinance establishing the clay pipe sewer inventory and assessment study. And lastly, we've got the establishment of the 2022 water system asset inventory assessment. Is there a motion regarding our consent items?
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor, that we approve our consent agenda.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is made, received a second. Any question or comment on those consent items? Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is our presentation of our 2025 Town of Troutman Citizen of the Year. I see that she is in the room. She's got some family members here, but I will read the nomination that came in. It is stating, I recommend Anna Johnson for the Citizen of the Year Award for her unwavering support and kindness to the citizens, staff, and community at large. She consistently looks for ways to help others, whether it's bringing meals to our first responders to show appreciation or opening her doors of her restaurant free of charge to anyone in the community that needs a free meal at holiday times. Anna often works in partnership with local nonprofits, the town, other businesses, business owners, and Iredell Statesville schools. This shows her desire to collaborate and work together with others for the good of our community. Anna's hard work and kindness towards others shows in everything she does, and she is most deserving of this award. At this time, I'm going to ask Ms. Anna Johnson to come up and receive her Citizen of the Year award.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I will. Thank you.
Congratulations, Alan.
And Ms. Johnson, you're welcome to have any remarks. Would you like to have some remarks?
You get 20 minutes for a speech, huh?
Yeah, 20 minutes.
You were prepared,
Thank you.
I wasn't even know that I was supposed to speak for her, but I think, like, at the end, I also want to say thank you for supporting her and giving her the opportunity to be here.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Very well deserved. You have been a pillar in this community since you showed up, and we really appreciate you. So thank you so much. The next item on our agenda is our Organization of the Year. And I will also read the nomination. The Troutman Ruatan has been a great help to our domestic violence shelter. They completed an amazing room transformation here at my sister's house domestic violence shelter. They replaced everything in the bathroom, even the shower, toilet, vanity, and replaced the floors. The Ruatan made the room feel like home and paid attention to every detail. They cleaned out the vents in the room to help assure that the families were able to breathe in clean air. The Ruatan Club is assisting in redoing the playroom for the children that we serve here at the shelter. Here at the shelter, we receive donations of clothing, household items, baby items, etc. Some of the club members came and cleaned and organized our storage building to help make sure that the residents could look through the clothing and household items. This group has been a blessing to us, continues to check in to see if we are in need of anything. For Christmas, the group took a list of children and donated Christmas gifts for each of the children and their mothers. They even wrapped the gifts so that the mothers would not have to do so. The Ruatan group deserves the award because they put their community first. They make sure that every need has been met, and if there is anything that they can do, they will do it without question. The organization of the year is the Troutman Ruatan Club. I assume there's some folks here. Please come up.
Oh, for you.
That's what they do. Awesome.
All people in front?
I hate for you to be sitting.
Good job.
Would someone like to make comments?
Yes, my name is
Please
Mariah
step to the
Johnson,
mic.
and I'm the president of the Troutman Rotary Club. We are super excited, that we got picked for this. We obviously are so excited to work with the town and to be involved in many, many more things, in the future. So we wanna thank you so much to the town of Troutman for putting this on and letting us be who we are in the community, and we hope to keep showing up every year.
Thank you all. I would say the Ruatan Club has really jumped in, hands and feet first, and really has done a great job of serving the community, and we really appreciate it. Your efforts absolutely have not gone unnoticed. So again, we thank you all so much.
We got you those treats from the Troutman Baking Company, so we're spreading the love in Troutman.
Awesome, awesome.
We all know how good
Yes.
they are, so please enjoy.
And you all do that so much, so greatly. You all don't have to stay, but again, you're welcome. Again, thank you all for coming, and we really appreciate it. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
She helped us out to the farm a little bit. Yeah, her son lived in that. Yeah, they're good people. Yeah, take good care of her. I will, take care. Good to see you.
We're gonna need one. When I get home, we'll have a good one. Have a good night.
Have a great night. Yes, thank you.
I will. Thank you. Bless you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Okay, the next item on our agenda is our Employee of the Month. And I will turn it over to Mr. Wyatt.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council, all of our citizens that happen to be present. A little over 3 years ago, I approached you all with the crazy idea of having a passport office in the town of Troutman. That was met with scrutiny, questions, why do we really need that many passports? And I answered by simply saying revenue if we have the right personnel involved. You all took a chance, granted us the opportunity. We bought a building for the purpose of having a passport office there, but also more importantly, to house additional employees because we needed space. I'm happy to report that Maureen has been our manager of the passport program and is our employee of the month for the hard work in April. But it's also a total body of work just in that period of time. She has been running the passport program for the town of Troutman a little over 2 years. Within the last 18 months or so, it has been herself only, except for the minimum requirements that the 3 others of us have to do passports to stay in compliance. Maureen works odd hours and that most people would not want to work, such as late weekend nights, weekends, and even some late nights on the weekend. This works out well for most of our clients that have normal working schedule through the week and cannot accommodate most offices' normal schedule of showing up between 8:30 and 4:30. Just her willingness to do the odd hours has absolutely created a whole lot of more traffic. Our office works by appointment. However, there are occasional times that walk-ins can be handled, but 95% of our work are by appointments only through the passport website. By taking appointments, it's more efficient and it's more profitable for the town. We're not paying employees to sit around idly to see if there's walk-ins. The passport program has a net profit of approximately $170,000 since opening 2 years ago. That's directly attributable to Maureen and the way she runs the office, very frugal. It's not on my notes that I have, but our finance manager recently commented, have you seen these weird copies we're getting from the passport office? I said, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, I see the normal numbers. Well, look at on the back. She won't even throw paper away. She's printing it on the other side and sending us copies on the paper. And that, again, is one of the things that she does, waste not, want not. And I'm appreciative of that. Maureen is extremely efficient at her job. We don't get callbacks or sendbacks from the U.S. government, and she does everything she can to save money. We are lucky to have her running our passport program, and I'd like to introduce you to Maureen Purcell, our employee of the month of April. Y'all be quick, her next appointment's in 11 minutes.
Well, I was gonna tell Maureen she had an hour to speak.
I have an hour?
Yes, you have an hour. You're welcome.
Well, you're in luck. I have an appointment at 7:30.
Oh, man.
Come right back and we'll get the speech.
That's right.
started.
I have a 7:30, 7:45, 8, and 8:15.
We'll still be here. We'll wait.
Put it open.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, Maureen. I did learn that Maureen has her own parking space. I've made my attempt to park there, and she quickly corrected me. So you have a great evening. Thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you.
Needs a cover.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Do we need an appointment for a parking space as well?
Call ahead, definitely.
That's right. She's awesome. The next item on our agenda is a proclamation declaring May as Mental Health Awareness Month, and I will read parts of the proclamation. Whereas mental health includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being, it affects how we think, feel, and act. It also affects how we handle stress, relate to others, and make choices. Mental health allows us to maintain relationships, take care of ourselves, our families, take care of our physical bodies, and respond and adapt to daily life changes. and mental health disorders commonly being during adolescence, with many young people reporting having a serious mental health disorder at some point in their lives. Suicide is one of the leading causes of death for individuals ages 10 to 34 in the United States. Be Well Iredell and its partners work together to provide evidence-based mental health and suicide prevention programs to the community at no cost to teach youth, adults, and mental health resilience, suicide prevention. These programs provide tools for people to help themselves or someone they know who might be facing mental health issues. And during Mental Health Awareness Month and throughout the year, Troutman is committed to ending stigmas surrounding seeking mental health care and promoting solutions to the mental health struggles of its residents. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Mayor T. Ross Young, and Town Council do hereby proclaim May as Mental Health Awareness Month and shine a light on the mental illness and the need for long-term improvements in our mental health care system and increase access for care for all, so no one feels alone. Signed this day, May 8th, 2025. And I think we had a couple of folks who asked to that I read that proclamation and issue it. I don't know if anyone is here tonight. Don't see them, but we'll get them a copy of the proclamation as well. The next item is our new business, and we will start with consideration for annexation AX 2503. The applicant, Charlotte Klontz, Vernon, Brenda Klontz, Kurt Klontz, Kurt and Amy Klontz, Robert and Deanne Leip, and all of the pins are included in your packet. This is for a total of 151.318 plus or minus acres located on Klontz Hill Road. At this time, I will open this public hearing and turn it over to Mr. Ventresca.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As we discussed on Monday, that due to some finishing touches being put on the traffic study with this case, and also item 8G that we'll hear in a little while, the applicant has asked to move this to next month. However, we had already set up the public hearing with the resolutions last month, and it was added in the Statesville Record and Landmark. So we decided to keep it on this agenda, and what staff is recommending that you make a motion to table this until next month. So with that, we'll also hear the rezoning portion of this case if it continues forward.
Okay.
And I would like to add that Vernon and Brenda Klontz are here, part of the applicants, to verify the request to postpone.
Okay. Is there a motion to, at least at this time, to continue this public hearing until next month, our regular meeting?
I will make that motion, Mr. Mayor, that we postpone this until our June monthly meeting, sir.
Okay. There's a motion on the floor to continue this public hearing at our June meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any question or comment? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, motion passes. We will continue that public hearing at our June meeting. The next item is consideration for a annexation AX 2504, non-contiguous. The applicant, Dean Dishman. The PIN is 4722374705. Total acreage 0.76 plus or minus, located at 875 Old Mountain Road. I will now open this public hearing and turn it over to Mr. Ventresca.
Thanks again, Mr. Mayor. This is a voluntary annexation request of approximately 3/4 of an acre. The applicant is Dean Dishman. Current zoning of this property is Iredell County Residential Agricultural. It is located at 875 Old Mountain Road. We will hear the zoning change that will go along with this request next. This would be a non-contiguous annexation. There is a single-family home on site, and staff does recommend approval of this. And this annexation is strictly for the town water to be supplied at this site as policy states. So with that, I'll open it up for any questions that the council has for me.
Any questions for Mr. Ventresca? Anyone here from the public like to comment regarding this request? Okay. I will now close this public hearing. Council, you've heard from Mr. Ventresca, and we also discussed it briefly on Monday night. We will now consider ordinance 1125. Is there a motion?
Make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Motion's on the floor that we approve ordinance 1125 to extend the corporate limits of the town of Troutman non-contiguous. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is made, received a second. Any other question or comment? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you. The next item is the rezoning of after said property, which is rezoning RZ 2501. Applicant is Dean Dishman, and I read the pen earlier. And the acreage, again, same said property, rezoning from Iredell County residential agricultural to town of Troutman suburban residential. I will now open this public hearing, turn it over to Mr. Ventresca.
All right, well, the background information probably looks the exact same because it is the same property, so I'll skip over this stuff. Again, the location is 875 Old Mountain Road. It's located just shy of the Kyle's Crossroads where Old Mountain Road and Buffalo Shoals Road meet. It's a little commercial node out in the western part of the county. The zoning map in front of you shows the property is currently zoned Iredell County Residential Agricultural. The yellow color you see is Iredell County General Business, and that tealish, bluish color you see is Iredell County Neighborhood Business. This property is in a business node, however, it is used for residential, and we must assign a zoning district that's similar to what it currently is zoned. Land use map does show this portion of property to be neighborhood commercial. I think what we can take out of this, if it's ever redeveloped and it comes back in front of you for a commercial request, we could probably support that. The proposed land use, again, it's neighborhood commercial, and that's just small-scale commercial at Crossroads. Per Troutman annexation policy, as I'd mentioned, they are requesting water, so they must be annexed into town, and we have to designate a zoning district. And with the RS district, which we're requesting, which is our suburban residential district, it's the closest to what Iredell County residential agricultural is, basically one home per every half acre. We do recommend approval of this, and Planning Board also recommended approval of this, and it was unanimous at the Planning Board. So with that, I'll open it up for any questions you have for me.
Any questions for Mr. Ventresca? Anyone here from the public like to comment on this rezoning request? Okay. If not, I will close this public hearing. Council, you've heard from Mr. Ventresca, and again, we discussed it briefly on Monday night. We will now consider adoption of ordinance 1225. Is there a motion?
I think that motion to rezone is requested to suburban residential.
Motion's on the floor to approve the adoption of ordinance 1225. Is there a second?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Is any questions or comments? Okay. Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, motion passes. We will now consider the approval of a consistency statement, and I would ask that you please read the full statement. Anyone can make that.
I'll take that. Rezoning to suburban residential is consistent with the intent of the current zoning designation of ICRA. Furthermore, the current use of a detached single-family home is in compliance with the RS district.
A consistency statement has been read. Is there a second? Any question or comment? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you. The next item is a text amendment, TA 2502, mini warehouse self-storage. The request is to amend section 3.4.24 of the UDO regarding the 1 mile requirement for mini warehouses in the highway business zoning district. I will now open this public hearing and turn it over to Mr. Van Treska.
Thank you. This recommendation is brought forward by C2C Land Development, requesting to amend the 1 mile distance separation requirement for mini warehouses in the highway business zoning district. Currently in the highways business zoning district, mini warehouses are not permitted within 1 mile of an existing facility. And the language that's recommended tonight to amend the code reads as, standalone mini warehouse sites in highway business districts must be a minimum of 1 mile from any other mini warehouse facility, regardless of district. However, if a proposed mini warehouse site is part of a mixed-use development and does not front on the same roadway as an existing mini warehouse site, it is permitted to be located within 1 mile of another mini warehousing facility. And this is a ordinance-wide change. However, I'm going to use this little sketch we have here as kind of a hypothetical situation that I hope explains it a little better. Let's say the roadway to the south here is Charlotte Highway or US 21, and there is a mini warehouse facility within 1 mile of the site you see on the screen. If this building in the back here is part of a development that has other uses, other commercial uses on it, and is used for mini storage, so long as it's not fronting on Charlotte Highway, in this case it would be fronting on Flower House Loop, it would be permitted to be within 1 mile of an existing facility. Staff does recommend to give this one a favorable recommendation and approve it. Planning Board also unanimously recommended this, and I'll state at the Planning Board level, one of the biggest concerns they have is with the residential development approved in the small driveways. It seems like it's affecting parking with people using their garages as storage. So they think with this, there's a need for these facilities, so they see this kind of being a benefit with some parking problems we've had in some of the neighborhoods. And with that, I'll open it up for any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Van Treska?
I do have a question. How many mini storage facilities do we have within a 1 mile radius of that intersection?
Currently, we have none. However, there was one that was approved a couple years ago by special use permit, which is on record, and the special use permit is still good, so it's within 1 mile of this facility.
So is this the second entrance of Flower House Loop, closer to where the new
Correct.
ABC store?
Yeah, this
Okay.
is basically this is the adjacent property to where the new ABC store is proposed.
Other
you.
questions? Okay. Anyone from the public like to comment regarding this text amendment? Okay. I will now close this public hearing. Council, you've heard from Mr. Van Treska. We will now consider adopting of ordinance 1325. Is there a motion?
I will make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Motion is made that we adopt ordinance 1325, amending the Town of Troutman Unified Development Ordinance. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is made, receive the second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, motion passes. We will now consider the approval of a consistency statement. I would ask that you please read the full statement.
I will do that, Mr. Mayor. I make a motion regarding consistency of this action, that this text amendment is consistent with the 2018 strategic plan and the Unified Development Ordinance, as it would allow for the use that is in demand and not negatively impact the parkade aesthetics on major corridors.
Statement has been read. Is there a second?
Second.
Any other question or comment? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is a text amendment, TA 2503, parking lot standards. This is a request to amend the section 5.3.4 of the UDO, Unified Development Ordinance, to amend the requirement for front yard parking in residentially zoned districts I will now open this public hearing, turn it over to Mr. Van Trusken.
Thanks again, Mr. Mayor. This is a recommendation brought forward by staff. Land Development requesting to amend the front yard parking requirements on residential properties to be consistent with the requirements of the Code of Ordinances. I think I stated Monday night that there's inconsistencies between the UDO and the Code of Ordinance regarding parking in front yards of residential structures. So we just want to kind of make these basically mesh together. Also, I had mentioned that in the Code of Ordinance, this is enforced by the police by parking ticket, which we think is kind of extreme. So this would give code enforcement the authority to start enforcing this with just letters and communication with property owners, which we think is a little bit more in line with what should happen with this situation. So, as I just mentioned, the Code of Ordinance restricts parking in front yards of residential properties to only driveway and hard packed surfaces. This amendment would consistently mesh the two. There's another segment of this amendment that I'm bringing forward. It would limit residential driveways to 22 feet in width, which would comfortably fit 2 vehicles, and it would also be safer for pedestrians if there's sidewalk in front of it. The way the UDO reads, it currently allows up to 40% of front yards to be paved or concrete, which means a 100-foot lot could have a 40-foot curb cut, which is pretty extreme in both an impervious surface area and also pedestrian safety-wise. The way that this is going to read, we're going to add the red sentence at the end. The parking of automobiles, buses, motorcycles, trailers, and other vehicles in the front yard of lots within residentially zoned districts is prohibited at all times. This is not intended to include driveways or paved hard surface areas connected to driveways. And then I have the driveway width in residentially zoned properties shall be limited to 22 feet. And staff does recommend approval of this, and again, Planning Board was in unanimous favor of this as well. So with that, I'll open it up for any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Van Trusken?
Andrew, when you say hard packed surfaces, speaking of gravel as well,
It's got to be, I think gravel would work, but gravel's kind of finicky. There's some gravel that's actually like a real hard packed surface, and then you'll see some that's just
you can put down
slop
gravel,
on
it's not
there.
necessarily hard packed.
That's right, that's right.
I mean,
So
if someone just comes in and dumps a load of gravel, or half load gravel in their front yard, are they legal, so to speak?
Yeah, and with something like that, I mean, if council has any kind of thoughts on that they would like to kind of add to this language, I'm more than happy to hear that. Because gravel is one of those gray areas where it could be, it couldn't be, so it's kind of up in the air.
And hearing you say that, I would propose to my fellow council people, members, that we specifically indicate that gravel is not a hard packed surface.
Okay.
Under this UDO restriction.
We can add that. Just as part of the motion, make sure you make that statement.
My suggestion, if I make the motion, then
Sure.
part of the motion.
Well, I would recommend that to kind of even be a little further defined as maybe crush and run recycled concrete or the blacktop surface that we used at the parking lot across the street, because gravel can be defined as multiple different consistencies, right? There's like number 57, number 67 gravel, and those are larger stones that don't become hard pack. But crush and run, the recycled blacktop and recycled concrete, that all three of those substances become hard pack.
Well, something across the street, I agree. To me, I consider that hard pack. The thing with stone is that eventually, and I've heard of instances where grass will eventually grow up between the stone, and if it's left unattended or somebody goes out and kills it with a spray, you don't even know it's there. And again, I'm thinking of the aesthetic part of it. I understand what you're saying, and on the surface, but again, something such as I refer to, and I don't know what the technical name is for that across the street for our extended parking lot, the hard packed surface. Is there a specific name for that? Parking lot across that?
There is not a specific name.
It's just,
Not that I'm aware of.
it's just tar and gravel, basically.
Yes.
Like millings?
Yeah.
Well, different people call it different things. Either asphalt millings, recycled asphalt, crushed asphalt. But in that situation, it did require dirt removal, packing of the subsurface, then a liner that goes in. It was not just go and put millings on top of grass and then run over it. It would not be packed as consistent as it should be had the latter been done instead of the first. But to your point, it can be called different names, but even with, some gravel being recycled with, some asphalt to it. If it's packed right, it could still be, but to Councilman Jaruzelski's point, if it's loose gravel put on top of grass, that's not packed and it never will be, to your point.
And again, you know, in agreement with Nick on the, you know, if it's something that is packed, you know, whatever the number stone is, now I understand the larger would be hard and difficult to pack solid. But something that is there that, would be permanent as opposed to just somebody packing, you know,
Throwing
truck
some
in and
stone.
unloading and then driving off and somebody spreading with a rake and letting go with that. I think, you know, at first that would be good, but over time, you know, that would not be, I think, what we're meaning in this UDO, what we're looking for.
So, I mean, would we consider the language to be clearly defined boundary with gravel? So it would have to have, you know, a dividing factor, be it a metal edge or a wooden surrounding or something that's clearly defined, right? So that,
Well, that's a possibility. I hadn't thought about that. I was more or less focused on the compaction,
Right.
gravel.
Is there a legal definition to hard packed surface?
There isn't one that I know of,
Okay.
so,
Okay, but,
I'm sorry, what was your answer?
there's not one that I know of.
Okay.
So you can specify, I think as Mr. Jaruzelski saying, if you want to specify that it's a defined area, maybe Andrew can help with some language there, but,
Well, the compaction is also important to me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that would look nice if it would be bordered, edged,
Right.
the whole gravel in place.
and compacted.
It would sort of give an aesthetic appeal to it at the very least. But I'm thinking also the compaction component.
Okay. So, Mr. Jaruzelski, you mentioned crush and run.
Crush and run, the recycled millings or blacktop or recycled concrete.
Well, I'm looking at the language here in red where it says it's not intended to include driveways or paved hard surface areas. It's something I'm hearing, not intended to include driveways or compacted, the term that Mr. Jaruzelski used at the edge. What was that again?
Defined edge?
Defined edge surface areas. Would something like that kind of fit the bill that you're thinking?
Yes.
Andrew, could you repeat? I'm sorry, I didn't catch everything.
Sure. So where it says paved or hard surface areas, what we would do is we would change that to compacted, defined edge areas.
Yeah, if it's compacted, yes, as opposed to just, again, I say, loosely dropped and that gravity would work on it, but I prefer some sort of compacted hard surface. Because I think that's what we're shooting for here,
Yeah.
to prevent somebody from just taking advantage of this and putting in a few bags of gravel with nothing else, saying I've got I'm meeting the UDO.
Sure.
I think that covers what we're trying to do here, this UDO change.
Okay, any other questions then for Mr. Ventresca? Okay. Anyone here from the public like to comment regarding this text amendment? Okay, seeing none, I will close this public hearing. Council, you've heard from Mr. Ventresca, had an opportunity to ask him questions. We will now consider adopting of ordinance 1425. Is there a motion?
Make a motion that we recommend approval of the text amendment with included language of clearly defined parking areas and the 3 substrates discussed.
I'm sorry, what was the last part of that, Nick?
The 3 substrates we discussed, the types of materials to be used? Yep, yep.
Is there a second?
Yeah, I'm fine, okay,
Is there a second?
second.
Any other question or comment? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposition? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you. We will now consider a consistency statement. I would ask that you read the full statement.
I make a motion regarding consistency of this action, that this text amendment is consistent with the 2018 strategic plan, as it would create consistency between the Unified Developed Ordinance and Code of Ordinances.
Is there a second to the statement? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you. We will now consider approval of Resolution 1225, resolution accepting Sothers Mill Drive. Is that Caprine Court? Parkmont Drive and the Sothers Mill subdivision as public streets within the town of Troutman. I will turn it over to Mr. Ventresca.
Okay, thanks again. In 2022, council adopted a policy regarding acceptance of street maintenance for new roadways. True Homes LLC is requesting the town accept the following roadways for maintenance. As mentioned, it's Sutters Mill Drive, which is just over 3,200 feet, Parkmont Drive, which is just shy of 1,300 feet, and Caprine Court, which is just shy of 400 feet. This map in front of you, the lines in red show the areas that they're looking to turn over to the town. Sutters Mill Drive comes in off Westmoreland Road. It's a town street up until this point, and the rest of the way will now be a town road. Parkmont Drive is this line in red that is going to the west. It would stop right here, but this is where Phase 2 of Sutters Mill picks up, so this will be accepted at a later time. And then Caprine Court is just a cul-de-sac off of Sutters Mill Drive. West Consultants is currently reviewing a new bond estimate for a required greenway for this development. So with that, I'm changing my recommendation. I'm still recommending approval, as West Consultants did the inspection. They said the roadways meet our specifications. The applicant has done everything per policy. However, I'm changing the approval to be contingent upon submittal of the bond for this new estimate of the greenway in Phase 1. They're about 95% finished with that estimate. We're just waiting on seeding for the areas that need grass. But anyhow, we do want to have that bond in hand before I write the letter saying this has been accepted. So with that, I'll turn it over for any questions you may have for me.
Okay, any questions for Mr. Ventresca? Okay.
No.
Is there a motion regarding the approval of Resolution 2512?
Make that motion as Mr. Ventresca proposed.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is made, receives a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you. Mr. Ventresca, how many miles would you say that is, or what's the difference? How many feet?
It was just shy of 1 mile in my calculations.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
about 0.94.
Okay.
Combine all three streets.
That's right.
In the back.
The next item is the consideration of a temporary limitation for future residential annexations. Again, I'll turn it over to Mr. Ventresca.
Mr. Mayor, as we discussed Monday, we've already began discussions with neighboring municipalities that we have to purchase our sewer capacity from. We have plenty of capacity with the town of Mooresville. However, mechanically, they cannot continue to receive new capacity until they have a solution for that. We are in negotiations with Statesville as they have reversed course on how much capacity we could actually purchase from them. We are actively seeking as many solutions as we can, whether they be the shorter term box-built type wastewater treatment facilities and or conventional treatment facilities. We do need specific wording, as I advised you all of Monday, before we will bring it to you all to officially consider the bad word of moratorium. Due to the complexities of everything that has to be done. As I expressed to you all, it's not just as simple as you all saying, hey, let's do it, we want to stop growth. That's actually illegal. We have to show what the problems are. We have to define what the solutions will be, and then be able to log how we are doing those in an active time manner. We can't delay trying to fix the options. part of our concern in speaking with the legal staff is how do we control something that's not ours to control, which is negotiations with Statesville, or which is how fast Mooresville can improve the mechanicals. So we are looking at wording for that, and we simply would like your direction tonight to continue those efforts to find what legal options we have. If there's continued resistance with having an agreement with Statesville and/or mechanicals laid out with Mooresville, then next month we hope to have the legal language for you to consider in doing a temporary moratorium. But if solutions are reached in the meantime, then we can take it off the agenda next month. So I say all that to say I'm requesting that you postpone consideration of this to next month, other than the directive to continue our fact-finding that we're doing.
That seems prudent to me. Any other thoughts by council? Okay, thank you. The next item on the agenda is the consideration of the reappointment of Tamara Hadley, inside voting member, to the Town of Troutman Board of Adjustment. The term expires 5/9/25. Turn it over to Mr. Wyatt.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. Tamara has been the chairman for our Board of Adjustments. All of her co-workers give outstanding reviews of her performance. Staff has been tickled with her work. The only reason she had considered not appointment was a conflict in schedule. Board of Adjustments will be meeting soon to propose a change on their meeting schedule from the current third Thursday to be the third Wednesday, still at 3:00 p.m. That change in schedule would work for Ms. Hatley, and we happily recommend her for renomination to that board.
Council, you've heard from Mr. Wyatt regarding this appointment. Is there a motion regarding this appointment?
I'll make that motion. Go ahead, Gary.
I'll make the motion that we reappoint Mrs. Hatley to another term.
Okay, is there a second?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Any question or comment?
I just wanted to comment that, to me, this is probably, and some people may not agree with me, but this is one of the, if not the most important, assignment, the Board of Adjustment, as this is the only judiciary board where we have that is conducted as if it were a actual court of law proceeding, informally, not strictly, but it's supposed to be as close to that as possible, and that whatever decision is made by them, we cannot overrule as a council. It has to go straight to Superior Court or District Court, and the judge rule on it. And our town attorney can correct me if I'm incorrect, but it has to come from a court to overrule it. So it's a very important board. It doesn't meet that often. It's under the radar. A lot of people, if you say it's like you're on Board of Adjustment, they're scratching their head. What takes talking? Heck, no, that sounds, like watching grass grow. But it is a very important board, and it has significant authority. So I'll leave it at that.
Any other comments? Okay. Thank you. Seeing that Ms. Hatley's not here, I will reserve her hour for conversation. Trying to remember, did we vote?
No, we haven't.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you. The
Close,
next,
Mrs. Hatley.
yeah, right. The next item on the agenda is the nomination of Ms. Helen Byers to the Idaho County Commissioners for consideration of reappointment as ETJ voting member of the Town of Troutman Board of Adjustment. Mr. Wyatt?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ms. Helen Byers has been our longest-serving Board of Adjustments member of everybody there. I know of at least 12 years from back when I was on that board. Again, staff has had nothing but accolades about her attendance and her performance on the board. She certainly has represented the purpose of these ETJ positions, as folks that live in the county but do not live in the town sometimes voice that they don't have a voice in our proceedings. That's not true. This is a perfect example to where county residents have influence on a quasi-judicial board, as Councilman Hinkle said earlier, that has more of an effect than even decisions you all have from time to time. And Ms. Byers has done that well, and we happily hope that you all will recommend to the Iredell County Commissioners that they reappoint her as a county resident in our ETJ area to the Board of Adjustments.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Wyatt regarding this nomination? Is there a motion regarding this nomination?
Make that motion.
Is there a second? Motion is made, received a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, motion passes. Ms. Byers, you're welcome to have your hour of discussion.
That's
No.
not Ms. Byers.
Not here? Not here? Not- Okay.
But I bet she's watching and anxiously wanting
Yeah,
to call
she
in.
wants to call in. Okay, all right. I wasn't sure if anyone's here, make sure. Next item is the consideration of approval of Resolution 1325, resolution authorizing the participation in the North Carolina Health Insurance Pool. At this time, I'll turn it over to Mr. Wyatt.
Thank you again, Mr. Mayor. As we discussed Monday, former Director Lou Borick began the process last December when the League of Municipalities informed us they would no longer offer health insurance coverage. Even with the transition to Terrence Meyer, our current HR Director, they continued researching various pool options. As you all have the information in your packet, we are recommending that you all allow us to proceed and go with NCHIP, our insurance pool in North Carolina. That would be switching from the current provider is through Aetna. It would now be Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina. And we would also be changing the others as far as eye and dental to a different company. But we are recommending you allow us to proceed. If you do so, we already have sent out email to employees today notifying them that we would have the mandatory participation, filling out forms of what insurance they choose to opt with, especially if they add dependents on their coverage, which they are billed for.
Council, you've heard from Mr. Wyatt regarding this resolution, 1325. Is there a motion? Okay. Motion's on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is our public comments. Public is invited to speak to council regarding any questions or concerns. You have 3 minutes. Please address your comments to the council, sign in, and state your name. Anyone want to address council tonight? Seeing none, we'll move on down to elected official reports and comments. I will start to my right tonight, actually to my left. Mr. Derazinski.
Well, I'm just overjoyed at the number of citizens that came out today for the different presentations. Showed up for the local nonprofit and our Citizen of the Year and all that she does. It's amazing the people we have within this community and how they help serve the areas in need. I'd also like to talk a little bit about last week, the North Carolina League of Municipalities trip that me and Councilwoman Felina and the town manager Duck went on in Greenville, and some of the classes that I had attended, one of them being Vision Zero, which is a class about traffic safety. They discussed the changes across the state with traffic becoming more important as the safety instead of just moving people through. Discussed policies, things like downtown roads being changed to 25 miles an hour instead of having them at 35 to reduce pedestrian fatalities. There was a study they gave that I found really important, that at 30 miles an hour, a pedestrian has a 90% chance of survival. At 40 miles an hour, it drops to 70. And at 50 miles an hour, it drops below 20. And I found that stat really important as we consider our own Main Street here. The speed limit's 35. I know most of the time when there's traffic, it's hard for people to get up above 35 or even go 25. But at other times, people are zooming at 40, 50 miles an hour through Main Street, which is a cause of concern because we don't have many crosswalks for citizens to utilize as they cross Main Street from our businesses on the other side to this side to reach our park and other areas. Another class I found really interesting was Thomasville's presentation on their staff training, growth, unity, and succession policies that they had to enact last year as they encountered 17 staff members all retiring within a 12-month period. It kind of left them in a position of disparity amongst their leadership, and they had implemented a program. It started out at 12 months and has matured into an 11-month program of growing the staff and council together through different leadership training facilitations and group gatherings. So I found that really interesting, and I'd like to kind of research a little bit more on those and potentially look at something as we are just bursting at the seams here in Troutman, adding new employees and growing our staff ourselves. And we don't have many, I don't think many, if any, aging out. We had someone retire last year, if I'm not mistaken. But we have a great staff so far, and I'd just like to see it continue to grow together as we grow larger.
Ms. Harris?
Good evening, everyone. I wanted to wish all of the mothers in here and listening a happy Mother's Day. Our job is never done. We're always a mother. I was a little late today because mommy duty called. So we have to do what we have to do for our babies, right? They're always our babies, right? And just happy Mother's Day. And thank you to Councilman Jarosinski for the Mother's Day flowers for Kim and I. We truly appreciate that. I wanted to congratulate Anna. I'm sorry that I missed Anna getting her award. She's a wonderful and amazing woman. Every time I see Anna, she's just smiling. She's like, "Tell your husband come back and see me." We really adore Anna in this town, and congrats to the Troutman Ruritan Club. I didn't even know that Mariah was the president. That woman's like the Energizer Bunny. She's the basketball coach for South Iredell, and she just goes and goes and goes. It's just good to see a young person out there doing the work that she's doing. So, and also congratulations to all of I had lots of friends. I feel a little old. Lots of my friends whose children are graduating. This is graduation season for a lot of colleges, so congratulations to all of you who have children graduating from colleges. Just quickly wanted to comment, like Nick commented on the training that we attended last week. I'm such a nerd. I told the council I'm a nerd, and I really enjoy going to those classes and the things that you learn at those different sessions. I actually went to Concord session. It was a session about economic development and about our park system, and I was talking to the town manager. We were going to talk a little bit more about some funding that they're receiving that could save us money in our town. We like saving money, right? Right, Mr. Finance guy over there. But they had some other resources for gaining funding for their parks. So that's something I wanted to talk to the finance director and town manager about at some point. And the other session that I attended is near and dear to my heart. It was about communication and educating staff, and that's something that I am just adamant about communication. And anyway, they were great sessions. All of the sessions were great. I didn't attend any session that I wish I would have been sitting on a beach somewhere, but I really enjoyed the session, being around so many people. And as the town manager has said, you just get to be around people who have different ideas, and then you learn a lot, good and bad, about different agencies. So that's all I have. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Now?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd also like to spend a shout out to all the moms out there and wish them a happy Mother's Day on Sunday. Also, I'd like to congratulate our citizen and our organization of the year for a great job, and thanks for all the work that you do within the community. Another thing that I would like to also echo on Councilwoman Harris is I'd like to congratulate all our students from college all the way down to elementary school on your graduation and your hard work. And last but not least, Memorial Day is this month, and it's before our June meeting, and it's a supreme sacrifice that these veterans and their families have made for our freedom. So on Memorial Day, please take that moment and thank our soldiers and their families for their sacrifice. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Hinkle?
Well, listen, all three of these was inspiring and got me pumped up. I think y'all had a good, surprise you came back. You didn't stay a lot longer.
Keep going.
Exactly.
Mommy.
But I'm glad to hear that. Like I say, I would have gone, but I told you why I didn't make it. But at any rate, I'm glad y'all got a lot out of it, and many more to come, hope, for you. And certainly kudos to what Councilman Now said, certainly Memorial Day, Mother's Day, and so forth. And thanking our service personnel, and obviously we always thank our mothers. God bless them, mine's been gone for a few years and still miss her. I want to, all the wonderful things that are coming up in the next few weeks. Biggest for me is what I always look forward to is Party in the Park, even though there are other events coming. But also, I'm glad that Sean McCoy is hard at work getting our athletics for the warm weather, the ball rolling on that. I look forward to maybe, since I live right behind the park, just slipping over there, and I got my backyard, and I mean, I'm almost like there when it comes to hearing the sounds. I might go over there and enjoy it visually. So looking forward to that, and of course, I know there are some things already going on over there. But look forward to more as we get into the actual summer and things. So, just trying to think if there's anything else, but it's not coming to me right now, so I'll pass it on.
Mr. Oxer?
All right. Thank you for my opportunity to repeat what everyone else said. Yes, absolutely. I hope everyone does keep those in their thoughts and prayers this coming Memorial Day. Yeah, we'd had some well-deserved recognitions this evening, our Citizen of the Year, our Organization of the Year, and our Employee of the Month. I also would like to just touch on the fact that I would like to commend the mayor on the proclamation for this month. That is, it's a very, can be a sensitive subject, but it is a very important subject, and it's a good one to spread light on. Absolutely, I don't want to get in trouble this weekend, so yes, happy Mother's Day to all. She hadn't texted yet. All right, so, but yes, happy, I mean, strike from the record. Yeah, but yes, happy Mother's Day to all, and I hope you get the recognition you deserve this coming weekend, even though it should be every weekend. Yes, I would like to piggyback also on what Councilman Hinkle said. I am excited for the youth sports. I do know that sign-ups are open. That's all I know. So the last one I've got is there has been some concerns, and I have had some citizens reach out to me and some neighbors as well at having some concerns around the clearing that's going on around the Barium Seasons neighborhood. I would like to say that the town staff did go out there, they've taken a look, contacted everyone, and we are in process of having this remediated. So as soon as we have an update, either from our end, or I'm sure probably from the developer's end, you will know. So, but just please know, it is being addressed. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Oxer. As Mr. Oxer stated, I appreciate the opportunity to repeat what council has. But again, just a couple of things. I will start with Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And you mean a lot to, I'm sure, your families, but also the community. You're the backbone of the family. And so we appreciate what you all do every day. And we appreciate it. So thank you. I also want to piggyback on Mr. Now. We won't be here for Memorial Day, but again, as he stated, please remember our veterans and our active duty military as well. It's important to say thank you to someone this Memorial Day for the sacrifices they have made. I also want to recognize CATS on their PBS special. For those of you all who hadn't seen it, it's an awesome update on all things going on over there at CATS. And so recognizing Principal Rogers and the team there for doing some great work in educating many of our young people on actually being able to graduate with a skill that they can go out and immediately begin work if they so choose, or take it as a means of moving forward with their education. And so again, I congratulate them on that PBS special, and I know they're doing great work there. Appreciate what the staff has done this past week, past month, and again, things as always look good in our town, and appreciate again all the hard work and the recognition of our Employee of the Month. Although I give her a hard time about the parking space, I know that she's done some great work with the passport office. I know we didn't mention it, but I think they were recognized as one of the most efficient passport offices. Again, she does an awesome job there, and again, great work for all of our staff. So thank you for that. With that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Wyatt.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I promise I'm not trying to repeat some of the things that you all said. However, just to remind everybody, the Troutman and Lake Norman Evening Exchange Club is getting ready to start. They are already collecting funds for those of you that would like to honor someone who paid the ultimate sacrifice through the military, has served or is serving. The Walk of Hero flags will go up on Friday the 16th, which is the day before Armed Services Day. That's why we like to have them up a little bit early so everybody can remember to thank those that are serving active duty military. And then on the 26th for Memorial Day, for those that purchased a flag, they can pick them up that day. After, there is a memorial service in our park. I believe it starts at 11 a.m. There will be free foods for the first hot dogs. It's not steaks. But the FOP's doing it. We appreciate them. But I was aggravating them this week, telling them there was a lot of steak ears and Troutman. They said they can get round steak. It's coming. But they will bring their new disaster relief truck that they have built because of Hurricane Helene. They will have it here to show off and also cook for our citizens. We're appreciative of the collaboration between town staff, the exchange clubs, and the Fraternal Order Police, and are looking forward to an outstanding service. I hope that everyone, as Councilman Now said, take time to celebrate what the holiday really is. But more importantly, if you have little young people around, please take a few minutes to explain to them what Memorial Day actually is. We have the best country in the world, but we would not have our freedoms had it not been for those that have paid the ultimate sacrifice. On the sports side, I could not tell you how many hours that staff took to do something simple. To everybody on the outside, it is easy to criticize sports organizations and what they do and don't do. As was published on social media, TYAA has grown so big, they simply did not have enough accountability for the volunteers to continue doing what they were doing. The town of Troutman, with full-time staff, understanding that as we grow, we need to offer sports ourselves, are initiating ourselves into that arena by offering to be the facilitator. Everybody please understand, Troutman is not doing youth athletics. That's the city of Statesville doing athletics for the entire county, because the county does not pay for youth athletics. The facilities that are used that the county owns, they're being paid for those organizations to use those facilities. Our staff has worked tirelessly with churches in the area, the school system, and others to make sure we have ample space for those Troutman teams that will be playing in the Statesville sports leagues, that they have a place to go. The only thing that really has changed from what I'm being told by both organizations is TYAA is just not the facilitator for a lot of sports. Troutman is. All those who wish to volunteer, go through the appropriate background checks to do so, will still be allowed to volunteer. We will not be hiring employees to go and coach or handle this situation. Football, my understanding, is still staying with TYAA in the immediate interim. The county commissioners did give the school system enough funding to pay for 2 positions to handle football, so I would assume that's why they're doing that there. I'm certainly not going to get into what happens to the other sports. That's a question for county commissioners. But they did fund the school system to have 2 positions to be over youth football. Troutman will have nothing to do with registration or registering those young boys and girls for football. As Mayor Pro Tem Oxer stated, Monday, Andrew and I both were made aware by a couple citizen complaints that there was a boundary buffering issue in the new Wakefield development to the backside of Barium Seasons. We contacted the appropriate people to alert them that we had issues and concerns. We as staff on multiple occasions have been out, took pictures, documented. That's one of those situations, as horrendous as this act is, it is also something that we simply choose to look at. When humans are involved, sometimes mistakes are made. Now the question is, what is going to be the remedy? And there has to be remediation from the developer. They've already acknowledged that. They've already accepted that. That has to be planned by engineers, and it has to meet within our town rules of what mediation we can accept. The developer will be contacting certain property owners who was most severely impacted by the encroachment, and we look forward to hopefully there being a peaceful resolution. The engineers of the developer and the COO of the developer should be at our next month's meeting. In the meantime, if any of those residents would like to confer with Andrew or myself, they're welcome to. We cannot be in the negotiating process of what somebody wants versus what the next door neighbor may want. That's the only thing that I can say I'm concerned about at this point. Nobody has said a word. I'm just saying when you get 8 people want different things. But we look forward to trying to assist all to coming up with a peaceful resolution. The developer is and will be held accountable for all of that. But thank you for bringing it up. I would also, before I close, like to thank each one of our department directors. Again, just talking about sports, I cannot mention how many hours the various individuals in the rec department had to do various things to do that. To give Sean McCoy another accolade, not only has he been communicating with the various teams of previous sports that we will be the go-to place going forward for registration, but he has also been going out and meeting coaches and volunteers within the current system that would be under the TYAA teams. We've got a lot of positive feedback about that. But just all departments that we have here within this past week, it's been pretty tough overall for various reasons. But I'm very appreciative for every citizen that takes time to reach out and say something either to one of you all or to me about a positive experience that they have had with one of our employees. And in closing, Anna, being our citizen of the year, is one of the consistent ones that just calls occasionally and said, I want to feed the police or I want to feed the ladies in the office, and does so because she's so appreciative of what the government employees are doing. But thank you all very much.
Thank you, Mr. Wyatt. At this time, we will entertain a motion to go into closed session pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143, 318, 11A6, and 11A5 for personnel and property acquisition. Is there a motion? Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Who all do we need?
The attorney and the town clerk is all I need for the property acquisition. It is up to you all on the others.
Same.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
In opposition? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you.